In this video, I'm going to be discussing and sharing with you my experience of breathwork and how it's actually helped my own healing. So let's dive in. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. For those that are new, my name is Christina and I help empower people on their spiritual and healing journey. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so then you're notified of when I post a video. So let's get that a bit out of the way and get straight to the good stuff. So today I just wanted to kind of do a quick video for you about my experience with breathwork. And if you are new to the term breathwork is kind of a modality that people use to either reach altered states of consciousness, to help with their optimal health. It's very good to help with your immune system, but it's also really good for healing the body. And the reason why it's very good for healing the body is because it helps us to release and process any emotions. And the reason for this is because we get into the body, and the body holds stored trauma, and parts of the nervous system are connected up to particular organs, particularly the vagal nerves, connects up to, I think, like the womb and the bladder and all those sorts of things. So what can happen is this trauma gets stored in the nervous system in the body. So when we do breath work, it gets us into the body. But not only that, the main reason why breathwork is such a powerful tool for healing is because of the rhythm of the breath. And rhythm helps with particularly developmental trauma. If you don't know what developmental trauma is, I recommend you go and Google it, because that could take a whole another video or two about it. But the basic principle is that when a child was younger and their brain was developing, they experienced trauma. So it keeps them stuck in the, I can't remember what it's called, the more reptilian part of the brain. It keeps them stuck because the brain develops from the bottom up. So this means with breath work, we are doing the bottom up approach to healing. We're getting into the body, and what it does, the rhythm helps to connect the neural pathways, or help kind of move the healing and to develop the brain again. I really highly recommend you go and check out this book. It's called The Body Keeps the Score, and it dives deep. I will give a trigger warning with that book. It was very hard to swallow some of it because it was talked about some extreme trauma cases, but it dives deep into the nervous system, the trauma responses, the body, and how you can begin to heal through the body, the different modalities. So the last third of the book is about the different modalities, but that book dives into this whole developmental trauma and how rhythm can help heal the trauma that happened there. And so what we can do with the breath is help us get into our bodies, and the rhythm of the breathing in and outwards helps to do what I just said with the brain and the nervous system, but it helps move the energy through the body. Because we are often with the breath limiting ourselves with the breath. Because the breath becomes very shallow as we experience something traumatic, because we hyperventilate, don't we? And when a baby is born, they breathe how we are all naturally meant to breathe, through the belly, the diaphragm. But when we grow up, usually because of conditioning and trauma and everything, we experience a lot of fear. The breath itself change and it gets stuck like that, breathing through the upper chest. So we are never taking in the lungs' full capacity. So when we are doing that, we are kind of almost resetting ourselves. And it doesn't have to be anything that is very like oomph. If you've ever heard of Wim Hof breath work, he always goes like really big, deep breaths in. And this is quite masculine, I believe. And so it doesn't have to be anything like that. It's about connecting to the breath again and resetting ourselves, so then we can process emotions or anchor in a new way of being, anchor in a present moment, set an intention when we have the breath. And if you want to come with me from the 31st to the 4th of August, I have a 5-day emotional reset challenge. And then on, I believe it is day 3 or 4, we do a breathwork practice. It helps us just to reset and anchor in an intention in the present moment to get up a new feeling, a new set point. So if you would like to join me from the 31st to the 4th of August, click the link in the pinned comments below, and it's absolutely free, 100% free. There's no catch or anything like that. And I will see you in there. So when it comes to my own healing, I have done a breathwork ceremony 3 times. This was actually a somatic breathwork ceremony where it was somebody who facilitated it, held the space, and they were trained in somatic therapy. And somatic is the body moving and manipulating the body in certain ways to help you process and heal emotions that are stored in the body. And the first 2 times I went through this, I experienced some emotions, but I didn't feel like a huge release had happened. I felt a little bit sensitive after, and I felt like I did connect to my inner child. I felt very like innocent and very, like, it was more like an energy I could feel, and it felt like this was my inner child coming up. But the 3rd time I did this ceremony, I experienced a huge transformational shift. So I always had this fear of going live in front of an audience, and I had my workshop, my inner child healing workshop coming up, and I was like, oh my god, going live. I think any normal person feels nervous when they are going to go live in front of an audience, and I'm like, oh my god, I don't even really like doing Instagram live. Oh my god, like I do it and then I just get used to it after a bit, but it's like the whole, oh my god, I'm on the spot. It's like fear of being seen, being judged. I had this fear. And during this breathwork ceremony, this practice, I was obviously led down because you have to lie down whilst you're doing breathwork. I felt my body about a quarter of the way through starts beginning to twitch, and I was feeling like my body was almost convulsing. And then I felt a huge like wave of emotions come over me, and I just let it all out. I just bawled and bawled and bawled my eyes out, because I feel like at that time a lot of things were bottled up within me just in everyday life. And so I was like, needed this huge relief. It was like I was giving myself permission to release these emotions. And my body at this point, I felt myself going cold, and I was at first shivering because I felt a bit cold, because the body will, I believe, naturally do that. So I was feeling cold, but then I felt myself almost convulsing, like shaking, not shivering, but like shaking, and I couldn't stop it, and I just surrendered to it. I allowed my body to do what it needed to do. And then towards the end of the ceremony, if you've watched my inner child healing video, my personal story, I'll link it up here somewhere, you will know about the bright white light that came out of me. And this happened again during this breathwork ceremony. I felt myself like I floated up. And then what happened was like a huge vibrational bright white light came out of me. I had my eyes closed, but I could see everything went bright white. And then I just could hear a humming vibrational sound. And at this point I was just crying, I was like shaking and convulsing. And then anyway, after I went through all of that, I went live straight away. I had to announce something on Instagram and I went live straight away, and my fear had completely disappeared. I shit you not, it had gone. I still feel that now and again sometimes, but in that moment, I was like, nothing's gonna stop me. I felt a huge release of energy, a release of fear. And going live now doesn't seem as a daunting experience. Like, I'm going to be going live every single day for this 5-day emotional reset challenge. And it is a huge stretch for me, but I'm not attached to this, like this fear of being seen, a fear of being judged anymore. Like, if people don't like me, don't want to be there, or just don't get anything out of it, it's like, fine, that's their belief, that's their choice. It's got nothing to do with me. That's them and their own projection. So if you do want to join us on the 31st, from 31st to the 4th of July for my free emotional reset challenge, sign up in the link below in the pinned comments or in the description box. But for now, I will see you on the next video. Much love.